Zombies. I always hated zombies. Some are slow, some are fast, some look like ordinary people, some look like monsters, and some look like somebody spilled a jar of jam on a drying rack. But regardless of speed or shape, they've all got one thing in common. They're too freaking scary, and if I see one, I'ma freak out. I mean it, dude. It doesn't matter if they're on a TV, on a game, or on the radio. If I see a zombie anywhere near me, I'm gonna climb a tree with a rolling pin in my hand and a pan on my head. Suddenly religious and containing way more liquids than you thought. Yep, you can easily call me zombie-phobic, but despite that, I just can't seem to stay away from these shambling nightmare inducers. You'd think that a guy like me would avoid the zombie stuff like a plague, but time after time I find myself sitting on top of a tree, depressed and dehydrated because I thought I could get through the newest entry in zombie franchise X without any major freakouts episodes this time. My life is a mess. I'm scared of the zombies in Minecraft, dude. Minecraft! A children's game. But I wasn't always like this. There was a time when I was happily ignorant to the fact that zombies even existed. A simple time. An innocent time. The year was the 90s and the place was Turkey. The only relationship with gaming we had was bootleg Nintendo games where you didn't really know what direction Mario was gonna run before you tried out a few buttons because your version of Mario was called Backwards Mario in Reverse Land. Is that a double negative? Other than that, we had Space Invaders, which was actually Galaga, and a backwards ported version of Mickey Mania, where Mickey Mouse looked like the missing number from Pokemon. This was in the late 90s, by the way. The rest of the world was 2 generations ahead of us and could enjoy complex narrative games, while I still tried to figure out what the power-ups in Battle City were supposed to be. But then it happened. Someplace between the late 90s and early 2000, I got a PlayStation for my birthday. It was bought in Norway and I had no idea what it was. I thought it was a DVD player or something. I only knew about using cartridges for games. CDs were for music and shit. But then we turned it on. My eyeballs were reveling in the graphic of the Lost World Jurassic Park for the first time, and my face exploded. I went straight from 8-bit to 3D, dude. There was no Super Nintendo that cushioned my transition. It was like finding the border to Ashenvale in the Barrens. Desert, 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 trees! The PlayStation was the best thing that ever happened to me. The only problem was the price of the games. One PlayStation game price was the same as 30 of the games we were used to buying. Me getting a new PlayStation game was completely out of the question. For a whole year I made do with Jurassic Park, Rage Racer, and the demo disc. So, we did the only logical thing. We chipped my PlayStation so it too could play pirated games. The best part about pirated PlayStation games were the fact that they were actually working. They weren't like the bootleg Nintendo games where you got 100 versions of the same game sold to you as if they were secret sequels. You just got the game you knew you paid for. With a chipped PlayStation, you could buy 10 to 15 games for the price of an original game. By the way, it was the game store that both chipped your PlayStation and sold pirated games. There were no indication that piracy was illegal at all. Anyway, long story short, for my next birthday, my sister got me a chipped PlayStation and 10 new games. There were even teens at the game store who gave my sister tips about what good games to hoard. It was a wild night. I didn't know where to start. I was gorging games. Half an hour on Crash Bandicoot, 2 hours on Spyro, Switch game, next. I tried every game in my stack until there was only one game left. A game with a kinda strange cover. It was just completely dark, with a yucky red eye on it that stared at me. Words in English I didn't even understand, on a hand that was holding the number 2 for some reason. I was like, wow, this game looks boring as shit, which didn't really make sense. So far in my life, games were only associated with one thing. Fun. Crash. Fun. Spyro. Fun. Rayman. Tarzan. Jurassic Park. Fun, fun, fun. Mario swimming on a level that doesn't really have water in it? Weird, but fun. The first thing I saw was a boring screen with some English text on it. Who knew what that meant? Where is the dog in human clothes game? Or maybe a talking monkey? Come on, I know they're in there somewhere game, what's your deal? The second thing I saw was the Capcom logo. The same Capcom logo that was on Mega Man. That's a good sign. Then, there was a cutscene with a boring pillbox or something. Being a 10-year-old with the patience of a hyperactive hamster, I skipped it immediately. A new screen. Boring. I saw the word new game that I recognized from other games and pressed it. Some creepy dude said, Rabba Ebal, Bah! And the screen faded to black. A creepy song began and a picture faded in, and that's when it happened. As the light waves from the thing on the screen touched my retinas, I knew that my childhood was over. The thing on the screen was a bald zombie with rotten lips, staring at you so deep into your soul that he could find a new type of fish in there. The fact that I knew this thing existed could only mean that I was a grown-up now. I had to go out there and find a job, learn Excel. I turned the PlayStation off out of sheer reflex and cried so hard I looked like a McDonald's logo. My mom came in and was like, "What the fuck?" And I laid it down on her. "I was playing Spyro and Crash and Rayman." Uh-huh. "Then I played Toad Road and Pro and Mega Man." Uh-huh. "Then I played EVERYBOBIIIII." At this point I start thinking, I like PlayStation games. A PlayStation game made me cry though. Things that make me cry equals not good. Motherfucker, if you tell your mama that you look like a used handkerchief because of a game, then you might never be allowed to play anything ever again. What the fuck, a smaller version of me that's my conscience or something? What do I do if I can't play games? He'll probably have to go out. Or worse, read. No! Oh shit, this story had to take a 180 faster than a game company tweeting about NFTs for the first time. You played EVERYBOBIIIII? Then what happened? Then I remember that, so the thing is, the, dogs. Oh, there are too many dogs. There are so many dogs that petting them all is impossible. Yes, that's what makes me sad. That's why I'm crying. And my mom was like, "Oh, okay, have you tried shutting the fuck up about it?" And then she left. Phew! I put EVERYBOBIIIII at the bottom of my game pile. Just looking at the cover gave me the shivers. I never wanted to look at the creepy eye, the hand, or that too ever again. I lay awake that night. I didn't understand anything. Mario, fun. Crash, fun. Spyro, fun. Every game I've ever played was fun. Games are fun! I'm so curious, how the fuck can that fucked up looking face somehow down in the line be related to fun? Or is that what a game is? A binary value that's either unforgettable fun or unimaginable pain. Jurassic Park is kinda scary when the huge dinosaur is chasing you because you bite him in the nuts while he's trying to sleep. But even that is cool scary. Fun scary, not stare into your guts and fuck up your whole life scary. Resident Evil was at the bottom of the pile, marinating in mystery for weeks. Why is that creepy face the first thing you see when you turn on the game? What does that have to do with fun? What is life? One day me and a friend are playing Crash Team Racing. He was a little older than me. He finds fucking Resident Evil 2. He goes, "Ooh, what is this game?" I go, "No! Put that away. That game is evil." You put it on and the first thing you see is a face. And the face is looking straight into you. Right into your eyes. The thing about that face is it's got lifeless eyes. Black eyes like a doll's eyes. When he stares at ya, doesn't even seem to be living. And then it happens. You're an adult now. You have to learn Excel and make kids. He was like, "What the fuck was that? Sit down and stop being so dramatic." So we turned the game on. He watched the cutscene at the start. It was even worse than the face, because whatever the face belonged to was now walking around and making the worst sounds ever. I turned around when the face came on. I was sort of fine with the cutscene at this point, but me and the face, we had history. The game began. Leon was backed up against the corner, and a bunch of disgusting face people walked slowly towards him. I felt the fear climb up my back like one of those little primates with huge eyes. I came with a suggestion. "Can you freaking shoot them or something? I'm freaking out, dude!" You have to understand that at this point we had only played games where you shoot with one button. Mario, B. Spyro, circle. Jurassic Park, square. On Resident freaking Evil 2, you have to press R1 first so he starts aiming, and then you can shoot with square. And you got about 7 seconds to figure this out before the zombies come close enough to... I can't even imagine what they will do if they come too close. We pressed all the buttons to try and shoot them, but nothing happened. It was like a nightmare where you're trying to run away from a horrible monster, but your legs are made of jelly, and then it happened. The worst thing that could happen, the disgusting, shambling, burning people ate Leon. They ate him, dude. Who the fuck came up with this? Making up creepy face people making the worst sounds ever is one thing, but now they eat people? No, I'm done. I'm screaming. Then my sister showed up and she was like, oh shit, you're not supposed to be playing that. So she hid the game, and that was the last time we laid eyes on my copy of Resident Evil 2. In the following years, I was introduced for the Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Left 4 Dead, Walking Dead, you know, anything with dead in the title. Each franchise worse than the last, with zombies so disgusting I have to hide my face when they show up, even though I am a guy in my 30s. But maybe that's what fascinates me about them. The starting point of a zombie related media is so messed up that I'm interested in seeing where it ends up. I wanna see how a new zombie movie or a game exceeds the previous ones in how disgusting and violent it is. Also, I love a zombie movie or a game where it ends well, where the world turns into normal. Because if a writer can write himself out of something as bleak as a zombie apocalypse and come up with a nice ending, then that means anyone can write about anything. That's cool. You're cool, zombies.